It's playoff time for high school football, and we're here to talk about it. Fox 23 Sports Director Nathan Thompson, along with the Tulsa World's Barry Lewis. And man, time has flown by. Hard to believe playoffs are already here.
Yes, it's good news, bad news. Good news is the playoffs are here. The bad news is the high school football season is getting close to an end. So something that we look forward to all year long, and it's just zipping by.
And we've had a lot of great games. Got some more great games coming up this Friday night. So we're going to go over Barry Lewis's top 5 area games. It's in the Tuesday edition of the Tulsa World. You can also get it on okprepsextra.com. Number one, some weeks it's hard to pick a number one. This is not one of those weeks. Your number one, the Fox 23 game of the week, Union at Broken Arrow in a rematch of a regular season game the Tigers won.
Yes, Broken Arrow won 14-0 in their second game of the season for both Union and Broken Arrow, but the teams, that game should probably not resemble at all what happens this week. Not saying that necessarily that Broken Arrow is going to win, but Union is such a different team than it was, such a different offense than it was back then. Quarterback Rovon Banks, Union is 5-0 since he's become the starting quarterback. He gives them a different dynamic. He gives the offense a different dynamic than what Broken Arrow faced earlier in the season. That being said, in that game early in the season, each team had 2 really good scoring chances. Difference was Broken Arrow converted its 2 into touchdowns, and Union came up empty on its 2. So it was a pretty close to an even matchup back then. Broken Arrow's offense has come a long way since then as well. Broken Arrow's won the last 2 games against Union, and before that Union had totally dominated, going 36-1 over the previous 37. These 2 teams have combined to win 2 of the last 3 state titles. Should be a whale of a game Friday night at Broken Arrow.
And then staying in the state's biggest class for game number 2, Jenks on the road at Mustang, which you can watch on TV. That's Your View, Cox Cable Channel 3. Trojans having to hit the road here, but Jenks finished off the season pretty well.
Yes, it's been a long time since Jenks has opened the road in the playoffs, and it's been a long time since they failed to reach the semifinals. And it's been a long time since Mustang has been a favorite in this type of situation in a big state playoff game. So it'll be interesting to see how Mustang adjusts to that. Sometimes the pressure can be pretty overwhelming when you aren't used to it, because Mustang's always been the underdog and in previous big game situations for a long time. Now it's got a lot of pressure on itself to go ahead and keep what's been a great season for them going. And Jenks is used to pressure games, so it should be a very intriguing game Friday at Mustang.
And number 3, also in Class 6A1, Norman on the road at a loss. So the Rams have dominated this season, but this is a rematch from last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, so Owasso barely won over Norman 31-28 last year in the quarterfinals. Norman's got the potential to pull off the upset, but Owasso's just been so consistently good and been the dominant team in 6A1 all year. I expect the Rams to keep rolling.
And we go out of Class 6A1 now for game number 4 and into Class 5A. Bishop Kelly at Collinsville. The Cardinals ranked number 6. Bishop Kelly has been up and down this season, had a lot of injury problems for the Comets.
Yes, both teams have overcome a lot of adversity, but yeah, here they are in the playoffs, ready to roll. Collinsville, I think, is probably, I'd give Collinsville a slight edge. The 2 teams haven't met since 2017. I think Collinsville won a couple of playoff games against Kelly in this decade, both 21-14 in playoff openers, and I expect a very similar type of game this week.
And number 5, tough. I know that you struggled with coming up with the right game. There's several choices here for game number 5, and you end up going with Booker T at Del City, and that's in Class 6A2.
Yes, Booker T. Washington. His offense has struggled a lot this year. It's been perplexing. They've got a great defense. Their defense is good enough to make a deep playoff run, but can they score enough points? Last year, the Hornets did against Del City in the quarterfinals. Booker T won 27-8 in Tulsa. This year, the game's at Del City. Del City's going to be looking for revenge. I've got a feeling Booker T may be able to pull off what would be considered, I guess, a slight upset.
It should be interesting to see. I'll pick up a Friday edition of the Tulsa World to see all the previews of the playoff action. Plus, Mike Brown's going to have an interesting column. And
yes, on Depew's feed on Blake Stafford, who's had a pair of 11 touchdown games in the past 3 weeks. He's like come from out of nowhere. So he's going to give us the story on Blake Stafford. Where did he come from? Why is he scoring all these touchdowns all of a sudden at a record pace?
So it should be interesting to read that. along with all their other preview coverage, and then a Saturday edition of the Tulsa World to see all their game recaps, scores from around the state, the matchups in the next week's playoffs after we figure out who wins Friday night. So make sure you pick up that on Saturday, and always you can go to okprepsextra.com. For Fox 23, we will be live at the game of the week, Union at Broken Arrow at 6:20 to preview the action, at 10:15 for extended highlights. Then 11 o'clock, it's our 30-minute show, high school football tonight. Highlights from all around Green Country, and even Jenks at Mustang. So we're getting across the state a little bit there. And of course, we will have analysis from the one and only Barry Lewis in our show. And it's the season finale of our high school football show. We'll continue to have lots more extended coverage in the normal sportscast after that, though, as the playoffs go along. And you can always go to High School Football Tonight, that tab on our fox23.com page to see all of our coverage. All right, thank you.